not Schulich last week on the show. I know it was in the comments by one, I believe, I don't know if it was James Wheeler, it might have been James. Last week was CM Punk's birthday. Last Tuesday. So that was fun, and I'm sure Ryan had a huge party for him. Also, most importantly, I guess, it was Pat Sajak's birthday as well last Tuesday. Great host of the Wheel of Fortune, probably the biggest celebrity born on that day. I just so happened to be born on that day as well. And I need to throw this out publicly because I just got this in the mail yesterday. Here is for those of you who can't see it on the inscription. It is an autographed picture of Deonna Purrazzo where it says, "I spy a Jersey guy," signed by the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo 2 times. And on the bottom, you can see there vaguely, hashtag Jersey Strong.
That's badass.
John DeConnie, unbelievable. You just made the wall, my friend. There you go. She's going right there. She will be up the entire episode. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode, I want to say it's 79. I believe when I came on to the StreamYard finger system, it was 79. In my notes all over the place, it was episode 78. I even lost a week. All of my mess. Thank you once again for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday night. With us, as I couldn't thank enough on the bottom part of our stream, our first ever PWC champion, and the newest addition to the new wall, I guess, being created in my studio, John DeConnie, the living legend. Thank you, John. And most importantly, I forgot to thank you, Deonna Purrazzo. Oh, my God. Thank you.
And what a sweetheart she was. It was a virtual signing like this. I didn't get on in time to talk to her, but I saw her segment while she was signing it live. I even have a screen cap of her holding up that picture in her hands. I'll get that to you as well. But what a sweetheart she is as a heel. Like she plays a heel on TV. She's kind of believable as the bitch, but in real life could not be a sweeter human being.
Unbelievable. That's in Jersey. She's 15 minutes from me in Hackettstown. That's where you're born. You went to County College of Morris, another 10 minutes away. Unbelievable. John Smith chimed in with luggage last year. Still a great gift I use every day. So I'm not here trying to show you off.
Yeah, well,
I show up to your house with that luggage quite frequently.
This year's gift must be lost in transit or something.
I'm sure.
All I got to offer you this year is eternal friendship. How's that sound?
I like that. And then get my first loss in the Eliminator for that. I'll take that as my birthday gift. I guess I have a little bit of ring rust and all my chaos trying to get ready for the show today. I forgot my headlines. I know we're going to talk about Big E and Kevin Owens had there was a championship match last night on Raw. I know there was a huge match between Chris Sabin and Ace Austin from Impact. The championship eliminator tournament is coming to fruition. We're going to main event the show with AEW, with Dynamite, and with Rampage, going into what is going to be an amazing full gear card. But we're going to curtain jerk the show with Halloween Havoc. Absolutely fun show last week. I was able to catch this live. And John Smith, it seemed like you were on an island last week from what I was told. I missed the pig segment. I chimed in late. I caught the beginning of Bound for Glory when I was driving on the Cross Island Expressway with Hollywood Chris DeConnie. Shout out if Chris is watching right now. I was with you, though. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to chime in. I was with you.
Yeah, see, for weeks I was getting badgered. Are you going to switch your pick? Are you going to switch your pick? Oh, Breaker's the future. And you weren't here. And so I really thought I was on an island by myself because you did never chime in. But you know what? Breaker versus Ciampa was an awesome match. We had a couple slip-ups, literally and figuratively, by Breaker, especially that second rope shoulder block that he tried to do where he just totally face planted himself. But Ciampa came out looking win face as hell with that I don't even know what that get up he was wearing, some sort of Viking something, looking like the Viking Raiders dad or something. Comes out and has to put him away with one Willow's bell, then a bunch of knees that I forget what he calls them, the knee that like everybody does now, basically a V trigger, then another Willow's bell. Plus he had to DDT him on the outside on the concrete beforehand to put him away. So Breakker still comes out looking strong, but he wasn't ready for that title, and you could tell by watching him in this match.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa did use that knee before it was cool. That was DIY's finisher, right? Johnny would come in with like a kick, and then Ciampa would come in with the knee. So there you go, Kenny Omega ripping off Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, I'm back, baby. John DeConnie. That was our lone title defense. We're going to talk about some history, I guess, the rest of the way. The first thing we're going to talk about, Raquel Gonzalez, she went, I don't know if you want to go Undertaker with the motorcycle. You can go, I guess Jinder Mahal was riding a bike. I don't know who she was ripping off. It's not uncommon for someone, but she was badass riding her motorcycle into the CWC. She spun the wheel. Chucky's Choice, Trick or Street Fight.
Trick or Street Fight, yes. And these two, they went almost 12 minutes. And, we don't really know Mandy much as a technician, but she made a good showing. Raquel, of course, was the mostly dominant, powerful wrecker that she usually is. And then we had a masked figure show up and crack her in the back of the skull with a shovel. And that would allow Mandy to hit a running knee, her running jumping knee, if you will, and that would put down Raquel Gonzalez for the 1-2-3 hashtag and new women's champion, the first female to wear gold to ever come out of a Tough Enough or what was that?
Oh yeah,
Tough Enough program.
Yeah.
Your new NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't really put two and two together on that. Yeah, Nydia never won it, and then I guess who was the tall one that was walking around with
Shaniqua?
Bashwins. Yeah, the Basham brothers.
And then there was Jackie Gata.
Yeah, Miss Jackie. That's right. She wasn't in Playboy. No, she wasn't in Playboy, was she? Close enough. Anyway, but yeah, so Dakota Kai, the big story here, and I want to say, yeah, she's back, and I have a few with Raquel. They're going to tear it down the way the women's division in NXT does, and then Mandy Rose finally gets a championship. That should not be ignored. But the big thing with Dakota, she got the snub. It's official now. Like, she's not. We thought maybe she wasn't drafted, and I guess maybe they're just gonna give her own moment. Maybe she'll come out and jump Tegan again, or this way, whatever. And it is official. She's snubbed, and maybe now, whatever. Just get that NXT title now. And go forward and be better, because Dakota Kai is a star. She's absolutely amazing. No reason why she can't kick Mandy Rose's face off. Two heels though. I don't know if you want to. That's some great heel on heel action, John Smith.
Yeah, well, Dakota and Raquel, I think are gonna both end up in the Royal Rumble.
That would be awesome.
They're gonna have their blood feud that culminates at the next takeover, whenever that is, probably around Royal Rumble time.
Yeah,
and then maybe the next night they go right back at it in the Rumble, Yeah.
And the night was that was how the night ended for Toxic Attraction, John DeConnie. It started off pretty badass as well on the Stairway to Hell. 98 SummerSlam, right? Austin walked through the fire with the garbage cans on fire. Stairway to Hell, right? That's what it was.
Absolutely, yeah. That kicked off the show for us. It was JC and Gigi versus Io and Zoe, and Indy and Persia in their Stairway to Hell ladder match. This one was a little clunky, the match overall. At one point, you had Indy toppling the big 10-foot ladder, sending Io, oh dear God, over the top rope to that bridge ladder to the announce table, and she didn't even hit it square. When Io isn't making clean spots, overall the match is going to be a little shaky, if you will. But luckily, it seems she's okay. Then Indy would climb up and get her hands on the gold. It was right there for her and her best friend Persia, but she couldn't get them. She couldn't rip the belt down. And JC went up and grabbed her by her shorts and pulled her halfway back down the ladder, which allowed Gigi to run up the other side and get one of the belts free. And your new women's tag team champions, Toxic Attraction, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, so they're pulling. I don't know if you want to call it a new. They're all the team. The team angle. You got a 3-person group. They run the show. They own the NXT 2.0. Excuse me, women's. Now here's the big question. I don't know if going off topic here for a second. This is NXT 2.0, right? So Ciampa's the only one pretty much now left from the old guard. Mandy Rose is now 2.0. Mellow Hayes is 2.0. Tag titles. We're gonna get to that next. That's a little bit. It's Roddy. Are they gonna get new belts? Like those belts now just seem so out of place in that setting. Like I'm almost wanting like an NWO, but in like the N in like fluorescent green, the W in orange, and then the O in they get the NXT. They can do something. There's got to be a war. There has to be a war coming out soon, right? They did it in the Invasion. They did it in WCW. It was the New Breed. It was the Billy Kidman, Sean Stasiaks, whatever, against the Hulk Hogan's and the Stings and all the old guard. They did it in the new ECW. That match culminated at WrestleMania 23. They got to do something with that with this. I would look forward to that. But John Smith, unfortunately, just like your Jets broke up most of our perfects in the eliminator pool, Imperium did the same to you as well. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Why give them back to Imperium? I guess was a question everybody had on their mind.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you know what? I still consider it a perfect pay-per-view because nobody saw this coming. Not even Imperium saw this coming. They were probably like, "Wait, are you serious?" When they were told that they were going to win this match.
When their music hit, they were turning around. Are you sure? Are you sure? They're talking to the guys in the back.
Like, is this a joke? You ribbing me? Yeah, no. So we get a lumberjack match. I forgot what they called it, like a lumber scarecrow match. Who knows? And about halfway through the match, after MSK goes flying over the top rope and causes a fight between all the lumberjacks, they all get ejected. So then we just have a regular match from that point forward. Because a lumberjack match isn't no DQ, right? Yeah. So the spin the wheel, make a deal really didn't even come into play here. Not once did a lumberjack ever throw anybody back in the ring or attack anybody on the outside. It was kind of misplaced. They need to have lumberjack class over at the Performance Center, But I mean, they didn't need to be a lumberjack match. Maybe that's why it happened because this match was spot after spot after spot, but everybody was selling correctly, which is what we're not used to when we see spot after spot after spot in other places. Mm-hmm. So, the way the match went, it seemed like MSK was going to win the whole time, and all of a sudden, you just get that forearm into the power bomb double team finisher from Imperium that I always forget what it's called, and 1, 2, 3, new champs.
It was fun with the lumberjacks. A lot of them in costume. Some of them were pretty good. Some of them were. I have to bring up probably the scariest one out of all. I actually just put the picture. I almost forgot to put the picture up. I think he was dressed. I don't know if it was either the Giant Gonzalez or Gangrel, but Von Wagner just looked scary as hell.
He was the Elephant Man.
He was he's unbelievable.
I'm my animal.
The Lightless, son of a Beverly. He got me on that one. And he's so scary as hell.
And the best part is when somebody asked him, "Well, what are you dressed up as?" He goes, "I'm Brad Pitt." Well, at least he recognizes the fact that he's ugly as hell.
Just fast forwarding the rest of the way, Malcolm Bivens, he came out Diamond Mine and an open challenge from anyone to challenge anyone in Diamond Mine. Here comes Odyssey Jones. I got excited because I wanted to see what these Creed brothers could do. I wanted to see one of the Creed brothers just toss around Odyssey Jones. Turns out he challenged Roddy. Obviously, it was not a title match. I guess insert jokes here. I couldn't think of anything. It was 405 Live. We used that one already. So Roddy got the win over Odyssey Jones after a distraction by the Creed brothers. So jumping knee, again, better than Kenny Omega's by Roddy Strong for the win. They actually had a haunted house. We actually have a match to pick here. We don't have a graphic for it. Yes, we do. Ryan Joy just on point. We have a match here coming up where it was a result of this haunted mansion at Dexter Loomis' house. I guess they didn't really decorate for Halloween. This is just how it looks. Johnny got in on the fun. Home Alone the crap out of the place. Absolutely great line. Long story short, it was fun in games. I think what's his name? Andre Chase got involved. He was fun. But Mello got his belt back even at the end. They both all went running away, scared like little girls. We are going to have a tag team match tonight. We're going to have the North American champion Carmelo Hayes with his partner Trick Williams going against Johnny and Dexter. John Smith as our senior NXT correspondent. Who do you got?
I think they're going to want to see if Carmelo Hayes can pull another Raw roll-up. So I got him pinning Johnny in an upset.
You pinning Johnny? Wow. John DeConnie.
I got Johnny and Loomis winning here. I'm sure it'll be Trick that gets pinned, but I assume it's then going to set up someone, either Johnny or Loomis, to face Mello for the North American title. So give me Loomis and Gargano.
Yeah, I'm going to go Loomis and Gargano too, just because I think maybe like in the next big match, I think right now it's Johnny, right? Johnny wants the belt, if I'm remembering correctly. He wants his belt back. I don't think he's going to get it. I think Dexter's going to be one to get it. So I think we're going to go, they're still going to get over on Trick and Mello, but then all of a sudden Mello's going to get one over on Johnny when it counts, which will cue Dexter to come in. So give me Johnny and Dexter tonight. Let's see. LA Knight, he had the same, I wouldn't say it was the same costume. I think Grayson Waller had a little bit, I believe it was a knockoff of what LA Knight was wearing. It was the same exact costume. It's funny. But LA Knight was wearing it. The other one was a 5-cent ripoff. But anyway, all of it led to the debut of Solo Sikoa. And God, does he have Uso written all over his forehead. Oh my God. I guess the quiche doesn't fall far from the tree in that family. Like they all
the quiche.
He could be Jimmy's triplet. I guess is what I'm trying to say. But he didn't have a match. We thought he was going to have a match. He was slated to be there, but he was just going to show up and scare the hell out of everybody. So look for more for Solo Sikoa. Also, Joe Gacy had a match. He defeated In Action. Harlan appeared. Grabbed Gacy by the throat, but then, you got talked back again. So it looks like Harlan is actually going to be listening to Joe Gacy. More to come with that. We also have Cameron Grimes. He is going to be going to Swingers Palace. Duke's Poker Room. And also, I guess Tony D'Angelo is going to be on Lashing Out with Lash Legend. And we have one more match to pick. Speaking of, I guess it looks like maybe Von Wagner's still wearing his Halloween costume. He's going to be tagging with Kyle O'Reilly going against Legado del Fantasma, John McConney.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly and Wagner go over here before they eventually turn on each other.
Yeah, John Smith. Kyle O'Reilly should actually just be untouchable at this point with this roster.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I was never a Kyle O'Reilly guy. He didn't get over with me, but I think Von Wagner should beat him in a match one-on-one if they got into the ring together. I'll go with them to win this one because they're not gonna start the tension between them just yet.
Yeah, so we'll go Kyle O'Reilly. So that will do it for Halloween Havoc. Before we go forward, though, John Smith, John DeConnie, if you could please just sit right there for 1 second. We're going to bring in our NXT UK correspondent, Gary Mehaffy. Gary, top of the evening to you, Melody.
Evening, sir. Evening, gents.
The reason why I wanted to bring you on, John Smith, this is specifically a gift for you. Here are our NXT standings after Halloween Havoc. Gary, yes, still in first place, but Gary, please explain yourself.
To be honest, I was just feeling sorry for John Smith. I mean, he's supposed to be the senior correspondent, and I was 20 points clear, and I thought, at least if I make it look close, it'll not be too bad for him. Do you know what I mean? So I purposely threw all my picks. It's not that I was just crap. I just threw all my picks purposely just so that I would look nice, but I've been caught on being so generous. I mean, you know how it is. So,
Gary, you've been known for a lot of things, but yes, your generosity is top notch. I'll give you that.
I don't need your charity, you commie Scotsman.
John the Con, that's why I wanted to keep you on board, just so you can be a part of the little banter. I know the two of them are going to get at it. Ryan Joyce still in the overall lead, even though him and John the Con, yourself, and Travis all went 1-3. Bet the ranch on Brom Breaker did not happen. I went 2 for 2. I had Tommaso Ciampa, so I got the extra 5 points. So John Smith was an MSK victory away. 3 title changes is a lot, though. In 3 out of 4 title changes, that's a lot to predict. So, shout out John Smith, but that's a tough call right there. So, John Smith, John the Connie, we will bid you adieu for the time being. Go say hello to some loved ones, have some groceries. Do what you got to do.
Right.
Because right now, Gary, it's going to be me. It's going to be you. And a lot of the rumors going around last week that I've been off the air because I was in mourning after Deonna Purrazzo lost her Knockouts championship at Bound for Glory. I was in mourning. I was in disarray. But then this past Thursday on NXT UK, Garrett, the smile came back to my face. No Dar got it done.
That he did. He's brought it home.
Exactly.
Winning the Heritage Cup, and we did think. I mean, you and I had talked for a while, and we said last week, Ryan and I said last week, it was like I did think there would be something to do with Trent Seven. I thought he might. He might turn heel. And actually, when I saw him standing with the towel, I mean, when I came to the last fall, when I saw him with the towel, I thought he was going to throw it in, and that would be the old Owen Hart, Bret Hart, like Helen Hart type thing. I thought, here we go. Now, obviously, it was more creative what they did, but it just adds a layer to it, and I still think that'll happen down the line. There'll be a split, but it was a great match, and I think with Noam Dar having the title, as we've said before, you could imagine him next Supernova Sessions. There'll be a separate seat for the trophy just sitting beside him and so on.
It's going to be in a better position than where his guest is going to be. Unless his guests are Pretty Deadly. Now, Pretty Deadly was the one that caused this whole thing with the towels. So I'm hoping, obviously Shaw's going to be there. He's going to have a nice seat. I would give Pretty Deadly some nice seats too here.
But they could actually have
champions, right?
Yeah, they could actually have a Supernova session where the guest is the Heritage Cup. And he's just interviewing it first, which would be great. But I say the thing was, I had said a couple of weeks ago, I had seen that the spoilers and stuff were out, and I purposely hadn't looked near them because I didn't want to know. And I'm glad for a lot of reasons in this episode. I'm glad that I didn't see it. But I say they had a great match. And Dar taking it, and say with Pretty Deadly coming out, and the way that they did it with the creative way to get the towel thrown into the ring for the final fall was great. But say it was a good match.
So here's the funny thing. So it's this creativity, it's these kind of matches, the stories that have been going on in NXT UK was also what Triple H was doing with NXT, but apparently that just was not good enough. So at least we still have this, because I think with Hunter and Sean at the helm, and I guess Road Dogg's involved in this too. It's just gold. They just get it, and I guess Vince is just. Yeah. Oh shit! Hey Storm. We also have. It looks like the family. Yeah, Storm. He's a big NXT. He's a big Gary fan. He misses you, pal. Mark Coffey and Rohan Raja, they went at it, but then I guess it was more about the fireworks after the match with Teal Man and the rest of Gallus.
Yeah, I mean, we had discussions. Obviously, we know that they've talked about extending the family and the new members or whatever coming in. And that's why I was slightly surprised when I watched it that Mark went over and that Mark won it. But as you said, there was the whole afterplay with the match, and then the stuff backstage that's been happening with Gallus and actually with Charlie Dempsey. And I had figured that he might end up being the next member of the family, and he still might. But where they keep interrupting his promo time and stuff. But So it was.
And that's where I say think this whole thing stemming, I think, is going back to the Heritage Cup tournament because Wolfgang beat Tealman. And Tealman doesn't seem like a guy who forgets easily. So now we got Mark Coffey and Rohan Ryan. Now, yes, Charlie Dempsey had a promo. He defeated Danny Jones, I guess, in action. Danny Dimes, New York Giants quarterback. I know you don't get that joke, Gary, but the New York Giants quarterback's name is Danny Jones. Danny Dimes, they call him. He had the match with Charlie Dempsey. Dempsey got the win. So it looks like, that's the 3-on-3 maybe they're headed for.
Yeah, and I have to say, I think Charlie Dempsey may be my new man crush as far as wrestlers go. Like the matches he had, I just sit and watch them and go, oh, this is so good. It's just brilliant. I absolutely love watching. Like it really is a throwback in style, and it allows Nigel McGuinness to mention a lot of the old 1970s and 80s World of Sport wrestlers that even, I mean, Charlie's dad, obviously William Regal, would have grown up on. And trained with. So it was it's brilliant. I love watching him.
So we're gonna go from one favorite to I guess another, Gary, because Amal was in action, okay, but you are going. I'm just saying what it is, okay, because I want you to properly introduce her to us. You were all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you can get your hands on. And she was on it too. She was saying, hey, I'm making my debut. So introduce us, Gar.
Yeah, Myla Grace. This is why I was so glad I hadn't checked the spoilers. Because I saw a little while before NXT UK started, one of the NXT referees had messaged out sort of what was on the show that night. And then I saw Myla Grace say, making my debut. I was like, no. Myla Grace, obviously a wrestler from Belfast, actually engaged to Tucker from the original UK Championship tournament. And she's trained with him and trained with other people. Literally, I've seen her from her first match, and I know them, and I was texting them and so on. I know her and I know Tucker well, and just absolutely brilliant to see somebody that got given a chance. She was given a chance to shine. She's only a couple of years in, but she's taken a lot of time, has a big dance background and stuff, but has had a lot of time and has put herself out there and has gone to a lot of training things across Europe and so on. And it's brilliant to see her being given a chance. So I actually think, like when Aaliyah James started on NXT UK, she appeared on and it was random matches and she lost a wee bit. But now she's been given a chance, and I'm hoping that they do the same thing with Myla. She is really, really good. She's very athletic and is a really lovely girl as well. And just to see her being given this opportunity is amazing. So honestly, everybody over here was just buzzing when they saw it.
Good. And so, I'm on board with it too, Gary. If she's okay with you, she's 100% okay with me. And for all of everybody, us in the United States, there are two Tuckers in professional wrestling. We're not talking about heavy machinery with Otis Tucker. Not him. There was a Tucker. Exactly. If you go back to the original NXT UK Championship tournament, Tucker was from United Kingdom was in there. What happened with Flash Morgan Webster, Rampage Brown here, Gar?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when you see some of the stuff that's going on. I mean, I've been surprised that Flash Morgan Webster has been throwing the odd challenge out here, there, and everywhere. And you just knew when you walked in, you're like, don't be so daft. Please don't challenge him. And you can see Rampage looking at him the same thinking, don't try it. You can if you want, but please don't. But no, it'll be good. I can't see it ending well for Flash Morgan Webster when it does happen, mind you. But
since Gala announced a three-way tag team match to determine the number one contenders, they're pretty deadly. Is this match going to be this Thursday, Gary? I know we have a championship match this Thursday. I feel like they're going to hold this one off till next week.
It's 2 weeks time.
Okay, gotcha. So that'll be it. It's going to be Ashton Carter, Oliver Smith. Then we got Jack Stars and Dave Masses. I think is this our answer? I mean, I'm not going to be on next week, so I'll give that as my answer. And Symbiosis, who's had opportunity after opportunity already. It's not like Symbiosis, they need another crack here. I'm gonna go, Jack and Massive. Might as well just send them all the way here.
Yeah.
I mean, Pretty Deadly's had a great run. It's and I know it's impossible to get titles off the UK wrestlers. So, if it's not going to shock me if Pretty Deadly wins, but I guess if it's not, now we're asking this question again. If it's not Jack and Connor, then who? It's.
But no, I could see them going with Stars and Mastiff in that match in 2 weeks' time, just so that Pretty Deadly can have the routine and mocking Mastiff for what he looks like and mocking Jack Stars. It kind of gives them a good bit of interplay, I think. So.
Stars ain't the prettiest guy in the world either, so he's probably mock Stars too. But from what I am told, we actually do have NXT UK Women's Championship match this Thursday. And Gary, your nightmare is coming true.
My favorite women. I know.
I'm happy I'm actually on to talk about this match with you. This is your worst nightmare almost coming to fruition. We have about 48 hours. Are you nervous? What's going through your mind here? I mean, Nico, I trust, I get it, but
I'm afraid to pick this match, given my history of the last week of how well I've picked matches, mind you. So maybe I should pick Jenny, and then that way Mako will definitely win. I think might be the way for me to go. No, I mean Jenny has stepped up, to be fair, and she's done well, but I can't see her being the one to dethrone the final boss. I think we're still going to be heading another direction. I was going to say B Priestley, obviously, but we've gone out ahead of it, but we're going to be heading that direction, I think so.
I think you have to have the championship match with Miko and Amelia McKenzie as well. So I think maybe Blair Davenport's endgame here, but I think you have to have the Amelia match in here too. So with that, I'm going to go with Miko as well. But God, Gary, I will be watching Thursday. I have the day off. I got nothing to do. I will be able to watch UK live.
And I think too, I could imagine Mako going, "It's okay, Jenny, lay it in, just hit me hard," and Jenny going, "Oh, please don't do it back, please don't, please don't."
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy's can go the Japanese strong style. Right? Gary, as always, we appreciate your time. We appreciate being a good sport with the squad douche you put up, or I guess you're the second person ever to do it. Now you're in the same company as Tyler, so we'll leave it at that, though. But Gary, thank you so much for staying up late again. I appreciate it. It's great to see you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if there is Thanksgiving in Northern Ireland, but I said I'm gone for the rest of the month, so I'll be back around the holidays. I'll have some Christmas lights up. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'll not be the same without you. It'll be better. So, yeah.
Gary, have a great night.
You too. See you later.
So we're going to bring back in John Smith, going to bring back in John DeConnie. Any chance that his luck has been pretty bad as of late? Any shot that just because the wrestling gods are funny that Ginny wins this title on Thursday, John says?
I'm going to go with no. I don't think it's time for them to take it off for Miko yet.
It is a severely tall order, John DeConnie. That's
exactly. Yeah. I don't see it happening, but oh boy, the show next week if it does happen.
I know exactly. It's like I'm happy I get to be here for the precursor. If she wins.
Is there any side feud that Miko has that somebody might like screw her out of the title?
She walked into the women's locker room and just be like, "Come and get it." She challenged everybody. Like she just told it all. So she's been getting. But the thing is, she's only friends with one person, and that's why I was just talking about it. It's Amelia McKenzie. She's gonna have that match with Amelia before it's all said and done. So. We're gonna go from NXT UK. We're gonna travel back to past Friday night. And we're going to lay the smacketh down on your Rudy Poo candy asses. John Smith. Do I have this backward? I have this backward. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me flip this. John DeConnie. I guess the show started with Charlotte Flair in the ring saying she's the leader in the locker room. Sasha Banks said, "Girl, What is this? No, she's gone, right? I can't even do that now." Charlotte thinks it's time to fight a new challenger, and here comes Shotzi.
Yeah, some lunatic with green hair and a tank said, "Well, the new face you're looking for is right here, baby." So we have ourselves a championship contenders match. We all love those. And Charlotte versus Shotzi. And Sasha hung around, very magnanimous of her to stick around and watch these two. And, of course, she would eventually get up on the apron. And Shotzi, whose timing was a little off, eventually almost ran into her, but really didn't run into her. and that little distraction would allow Charlotte to, stick a forearm shiver in Shotzi's face and hit natural selection for the 1-2-3. So Charlotte doesn't have to worry about facing Shotzi, at least not immediately, for the actual title. But then Shotzi got a little bit ticked off at Sasha. She, I guess, blamed her for the loss. She went a little bit goofy. She attacked Sasha, rolled her out, bounced her off the tank, rolled her back in, hit that jumping senton from the top buckle, and I guess we officially have a heel. So now in this little triumvirate of people circling the SmackDown Women's title, we have 3 heels. So I
don't know if is that a heel move? I figured she's the one.
When it's done to a heel, doesn't necessarily make it a heel move.
Was she getting booed?
That I can't quite remember. I do, she might have been getting
fans yet. I missed the Thunderdome. Oh my god! I was watching something with my stepdaughter. I was in the kitchen. My stepdaughter was watching something, and Tina Turner's Thunderdome came on, for whatever reason. Like, man, I missed the Thunderdome.
Said
King
no
Woods.
one ever.
Yeah, no, right. Well, I was singing Thunderdome when they first announced it. I remember it was a SummerSlam special. I think I started the SummerSlam special 2 years ago singing Thunderdome. King Woods was in the ring for the knighting ceremony of Kofi Kingston, who now knelt as Kofi and rised as Sir Kofi Kingston, the hand of the king. Then here come the Usos. John Connie.
And the Usos.
So, you know what? Some feuds never die. And I'm just let these 4 and even so Biggie, whatever. Let these 5 just go forever. Like, this feud belongs in the Hall. They should actually have like Hall of Fame feuds.
Yeah, like the UFC does. Put a particular match or feud.
Yeah.
Give it some recognition. Yeah, so the Usos came out to remind Kofi and Woods that they the ones, and blah blah blah. A little back and forth, and the King declared a trial by combat for later in the evening, and then Jimmy punched Kofi in the face, and they ran away. And fast forward to the main event, we get Woods and Kofi versus the Usos in a non-title match. Woods would eventually make the blind tag. And then following that, when Jimmy hit a super kick on Kofi and went for a cover, he wasn't covering the right man. Woods came in and basically hit the La Magistral Cradle without grabbing the arm, just kind of like rolled over Jimmy and rolled him up for the 1-2-3. And the King and the Hand celebrated in the ring to end the show.
John Smith, I'm reading the notes here. Madcap Moss, Riddick Moss scored. I know you're a football guy, so you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Riddick Moss scored a 7 on the Wonderlic test.
A 7?
7.
Isn't the best score a 50?
Scoring. Like, that's like Jamarcus Russell level of like Wonderlic test scoring.
Yeah.
Wow. Why was he taking the Wonderlic test? He was a football guy. Isn't that just for quarterbacks though?
No, the quarterbacks are the ones that they expect to score highest on it.
Yeah.
But,
okay. They just want to make sure who the morons are and who they know they can trust to actually like run things. I got you.
James Miller going Happy Corbin's eventually going to be the Intercontinental Champion here, and I kind of feel like that's where it's going right now. It seems like Corbin and Moss, not to mention knocking it out of the park with the jokes, just seems to be getting the upper hand here.
Yeah. So we got a trick or street fight, which basically just means there's a bunch of pumpkins all around. And kudos to whoever had to make all these jack-o'-lanterns because every single one of them was different. And they had like one of them had a logo in it and stuff. So, they probably don't get any recognition. So, because all their stuff was just getting smashed all over each other all match. They were getting pumpkins on heads and whipped into other people. We got Madcap Moss getting dunked into a vat of water with apples in it, and then Boogs and Nakamura and Pat McAfee all cheersed an apple, which was weird as we went to commercial break. At one point, Reggie made his way in and out with everybody chasing him for his 24/7 title. What else happened? And then we get 2 masked guys when Boogs gets to the second rope to do a high-flying maneuver. 2 masked guys hit him in the back with kendo sticks. He falls down. He gets neck breakered onto a jack-o'-lantern for the 1, 2, 3, and the two masked men reveal them to be Humberto Carrillo and Humberto Carrillo.
Humberto Carrillo and Humberto Garza. Cousins with the same name. I love it.
I thought they had the same first and last name.
No. I think Humberto Carrillo, that's his real name, but Angel's real name is Humberto as well. It's Humberto Garza. It's good to see them doing. I said I like those two. You know, we killed Humberto Carrillo over the years for being the worst friend ever, but that never took anything away from his ending ability. You know, like.
Yeah.
I just find it curious that they stuck them together with no explanation when they had like a family blood feud a couple of years ago.
You know, two good-looking guys like them, I guess they just attract to each other, right? And then they go out and hand out roses and whatnot. Shayna Baszler defeated Naomi. Sonya Deville was the referee in this match. Still a thorn in Naomi's side. Did the quick count. Shout out to Shayna Baszler. Rolled up somebody else for once. Good job. And it took a quick count to get it done, too, so maybe she would have kicked out of it, too. Who knows? But then when she got in Sonya Deville's face about the quick count, Shayna Baszler hit the Karabuta clutch on Naomi, put her to sleep post-match. So to be continued with Naomi, along with Sonya and Shayna, that's a dangerous combination. Not to mention one being a Jersey girl, so... then the last match we had Drew McIntyre defeated Mustafa Ali by submission with the Kimura. Afterwards, Mustafa Ali grabbed the mic, believes that people choose not to root for him because his name is Mustafa Ali. So, same old story with him for the past 4 years, correct?
Yep, coming back around to it.
Yep. All right, so about last night, the smooth transition from SmackDown to Raw, and I know we'll just do the transition here. I asked this in pre-production because I've been a little under a rock here. There's been no mention of anything about the Survivor Series. There's been no graphics. There's no mention of the Barclays Center other than what happened at Crown Jewel when they made the announcement. So do you think we're still doing this whole champions versus champions things? Are we going to shy away from it? Any questions, comments, or concerns, John Smith?
I have no reason to think that they're not going to do the champions versus champions. I find it curious that they haven't said anything yet, though. So, I mean, it's totally possible. But if they don't, then what's the gimmick for Survivor Series then?
Exactly.
John Connie, I guess you agree with that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had Becky mention it. You know, whoever comes out of it's got to fit. You know, with that the other title match, you're going to have to face me at Survivor Series. We had the Usos warn someone that, you know, whoever, I guess Drew and Big E, that whoever wins is eventually going to have to face Roman at Survivor Series. So I assume that's where we're still headed. It's just odd that there's been really nothing going on.
3 more months, Mount Rushmore. Jan, I think you got to be a little more specific here. Is this, I guess, was somebody quoted? They're in quotes, so maybe somebody said it. I don't know.
Somebody said. Who was it? Someone is pushing for Mount Rushmore status. I don't remember the reference, though. I apologize.
Yeah,
that's not how any of this works. It's like trying to push to be king of the ring for forever, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Eventually. I'm glad Xavier's enjoying it as much as he has been. It's just fun. I'm sure he's not even in character. He's just genuine right now, and it's just like this is the dream that he's been wanting. So good for him. Shout out to him. Seth Rollins, he was out last night on Raw. He counted. I guess he has the contract that basically guaranteed him to be the next WWE champion. Big E said, like, all right, let's do this now. Rollins said, nah, not right now. So Kevin Owens comes out, John Connie.
Yeah, there were some light references to, you know, Becky and Sasha being the face of Raw, and then, you know, Big E and Seth being the face of Raw. And KO came out and basically said, like, well, I want to be on the list too, because, you know, whenever I do what I do, I make people remember. You know, last week we had that ladder match. I didn't win it, but what was everybody talking about afterwards? They were talking about my performance. I could be the face of Monday Night Raw. So if you're not going to face him, get out of the ring, Seth. I'll take on Big E for the first time ever tonight. So then Seth would find KO later backstage. She offered a little quid pro quo. I'll help you out tonight if you promise to help me out somewhere. 3 more months. But yeah, there you go. The name of Oh,
Yeah.
right. There you go.
Thank you, James Wheeler. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, well, Kevin Owens needs to stay.
Yeah.
Why get lost in the shuffle in AEW?
Anywho. So Seth was backstage talking to Kevin. Kevin wanted nothing to do with him. Told him, basically to bug off. So our main event is Big E versus Kevin Owens. Seth comes out. He takes a seat near commentary. Later on, he would sucker punch E when E was kind of like hanging halfway out of the ring behind the ref's back. And Owens, afterwards he kind of played it off like, I didn't see anything, but he saw exactly what happened, and he just kind of laid back into a pin, which allowed Big E to, grab his shoulders and roll him over into a crucifix and get the 1, 2, 3. And afterwards, Big E was calling him out, Kevin, you just got through telling us, you're nothing like this guy, and you took advantage of the situation. You saw what he did. You knew exactly what happened. KO was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Seth, this is all your fault. This is your fault, Seth, and I'm going to face you. You and I should face next week, and blah, 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 blah. Big E was not buying any of it. Kind of hinted at a KO heel turn. And, like if this is his last run, we're going to get some heel Kevin Owens before he goes. And Big E would scoop him up and hit a big ending as the show went off the air and had some choice words off mic, albeit for Rollins, who was halfway up the ramp and still smiling in his jack-o'-lantern suit.
Smooth transition from Seth Rollins to big-time Bex, who defended her championship in the opening match, John DeConnie, saying that Bianca Belair does not appreciate her.
And the fans, how dare they boo? She even broke out the old Daniel Bryanism of they're fickle. We got a little bit of that in the gorilla position interview.
It's fun with the Irish accent too. I like that one.
So Bianca would eventually get this match went almost 20 freaking minutes. There were 3 segments, 2 commercial breaks, all for it to end with Bianca getting Becky up on her shoulders, getting ready for the KOD. First, Bex is holding on to the top rope because she doesn't want to get pulled out of that corner because she knows what's coming next, the finish to the KOD. And then just her last bit of grip as she gets pulled away from the corner, she rips the turnbuckle pad off. The referee plainly saw it as he watched it, the turnbuckle pad hit the ground, and Becky kind of used that extra time where everyone was confused for like a split second. She wiggled out of the KOD and immediately ran Bianca face first into the metal turnbuckle ring. And that would then allow her to roll her up with a handful of tights. 1, 2, 3, and Becky retains.
It's fun when it's like if you're in another sport. Like I always say, accidents are still penalties too. Like now, like you rip the turnbuckle off, it's not a disqualification. It was an accident, and then you just happen to push her into it. That's just the circumstance. I didn't see that it was. I don't know.
That's it.
Who we got here? James Wheeler wants a prediction for day 1. She wants Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. I wouldn't mind that at all.
What's the obsession with Liv Morgan all of a sudden? She's
Jersey.
just whatever though. Like she's not that good. She's not that good. She's just a guy. She's just a girl, like
John Smith, one of our favorites, T-Bar.
T-Bar.
A non-title, no DQ match against the United States champion.
Yeah, what a fight that was. It was akin to Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre about this time last year. They just beat the crap out of each other. We got Damian Priest caught up in the ropes and getting smashed in the midsection with a kendo stick over and over and over again. I think he was actually bleeding at one point. They just kept going at it and fighting, and eventually we got Priest with his finisher. I forget what he calls it.
Reckoning.
The Reckoning, I believe, onto a chair. Maybe not. He smashed the crap out of him with a chair about 30 times to begin with, though. So Good showing by T-Bar, though. Hopefully he's able to kind of shed the whole gimmick of what was their name again? I forgot already. Retribution.
Yeah, Retribution. They said they got split up in the draft. Mason T-Bar. Like I said, we know Mace was kind of held the Shawn Michaels of the team, but T-Bar, I think Dominic Dijakovic can go. He proved it in NXT. So I'm just exactly just hope that if they just use him and let him shine in these types of matches, even if his name is T-Bar.
He's actually way better now than he ever was in NXT.
Yeah.
It was more about like Keith Lee, and then he kind of was able to ride Keith Lee's coattails.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you got? Speaking of Keith Lee, add Keith Lee to the mix. We got the U.S. triple threat match that would really bring out some nostalgia from NXT mid to win. That it would, and then just throw Karrion Kross in there too, because he was the one that Rocky forward the hell out of Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he beat Priest too.
I would think so.
In his first match back after his injury, I think he beat Priest at a pay-per-view, at a takeover.
Sounds about right.
Sounds right. The new Queen of the Ring, Zelina and Carmella, they defeated the Rhea Ripley. There we go. So we're picking up right where we left off with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. We thought maybe if you got the belts off of Natty and Tamina, that whoever was champions would win matches. It looks like we're just old hat with this. Zelina and Carmella got to win over the champions. Carmella distracts Nikki Ash. Zelina jumps on Nikki's back and delivers the code red for the win. So we're back on this bandwagon again. Finn Balor defeated Chad Gable. Let's see, Balor class wins Balor just superplex, but Balor hooks Gable's legs to hold on for the win. John Smith, you wanted Dolph Ziggler. I think a couple weeks off, and Dolph Ziggler starts winning again. I like this.
Yeah, but it wasn't really much about the win here. It was more, we started backstage with Riddle and the Dirty Dogs, and Riddle's wondering if the Dirty Dogs ever play rough pass. Then RK Bro comes out to brand new music, and they're sitting ringside on commentary. We get your standard like match one in the playbook of WWE's tag team matches, where the faces start off strong, then one guy gets beaten up for 5 minutes, and then we get the hot tag to Montez. And when he's about to get up on the top rope to hit his splash, Omos comes out and distracts him. We get some move by Dolph because it didn't end up on camera. I'm assuming it was a super kick. And we get the 1, 2, 3 from that. Then the Street Profits both try to attack Omos and just get disposed of quickly. Then Riddle comes over and gets press slammed onto the second hardest part of the ring, the edge of the apron. And then we end the segment with Orton and Omos screaming at each other, and it seemed like they were about to go at it, and then they just cut to a clip of Priest and T-Bar from last week.
Bad production during that segment.
Yeah, right. John Smith, Austin Theory defeated Rey Mysterio. As a former believer in the way, how is Austin doing right now on the main roster? Is he doing okay? It sounds like his name's coming up every week. He's getting a lot of selfies. Is this working for you?
He's doing incredible, man. He's with like the perfect person to work with, and I love it. Everything he does just seems so natural. It seems like it's just him having a good time, and I love it.
And John Licani, I believe you had a bold prediction yesterday morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show about Austin Theory.
Yes, we were asked for some wild predictions, and my prediction is that by the end of 2022 calendar year, Austin Theory will be your WWE champion.
Wow. I could see it happening. He could win Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Good. Reggie was backstage with John Morrison. Morrison is very close to achieving his meditation goal. R-Truth and Tozawa attack Reggie. Reggie escapes again. R-Truth and Tozawa blame each other, and then they blame Drake Maverick. So we're still having fun and games in the 24/7 division. So we have had a transition from WWE. I think we're done with all our WWE stuff for the time being. We're going to transition to, I believe this was the first Impact after Bound for Glory. I know you guys probably talked about it at length last week. I mean, it was a major show. I'm sure you talked about it at length. That's right. You let off with Gary. You let off with Gary. There you go. 45 minutes of Gary, right?
Get the numbers up.
Overall, ratings don't lie, though. You can't not do that now. Ratings don't lie. You start with the show with Gary. There you go.
And then we put him on second today to keep them on even longer because they were just tuning out the second Gary was done. So now they had to wait for him a little bit.
That's it. You got to tease him. You got to tease him with the Gary. There you go.
Yeah, eventually we'll just make him stay up all night and he's the main event every show.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dead tired, but damn, the views are unbelievable. Thoughts on Bound for Glory, real quick, John DeConnie. I thought it was a great show. I believe we all got it. I mean, I got my ass kicked in it, but I thought that was an absolutely great show. And that was, top-notch performance. Everybody, freaking Demon's back. We'll get into the Demon in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. He was one of these surprises. It wasn't one of the surprises that made you go, like, oh my God, I can't. Rocky Romero showing up for the gauntlet was like, hey, now that's a hell of a surprise. The Demon comes up and you're like, wow, they just did that, huh? But yeah, always a good show. I mean, always the ring work's always, borderline sensational. and
I could have sworn John Smith. I'm pretty sure Impact did not sign the Demon. So could we get a Demon sighting in the Royal Rumble in January? I guess is a big question.
Who the hell's the Demon? Oh, the Kiss Demon.
Yeah, the Kiss Demon.
I'm like, I hear the Demon, I think Finn Balor. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah. No, that was
ripped off somebody for that. Yeah.
No, definitely not. I hope I never see him again. That was the first time I've ever seen him live.
Yes, really. Let's see what we got. Adam Shear, Braun Strowman signs with Impact Wrestling. Moose vs. Titan. I guess he's going by the name Titan. That'd be pretty cool. All right.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't that Big Show's name when he first came to WWF?
No, it was just Paul White. He just went by Paul White.
I feel like it was Titan first. I'm going to look into that.
Okay, go for it. Meanwhile, there was a lot of surprises at Bound for Glory. Probably the most important, probably in wrestling history, was the Inspiration joining Impact Wrestling, and in the opening contest of Bound for Glory in their opening debut match, they win the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, defeating Decay. So now they won the championships at Bound for Glory. They won the championships at WrestleMania. Mount Rushmore, throw them up there. That's it. You just need two, right? There you go. I guess they had a backstage interview with Gia. We're here to inspire people, hence the name. I believe, John DeConnie, your quote is, go figure. Yeah. But John DeConnie, in all seriousness, the main event, Ace Austin, Chris Sabin, 17 minutes, 50 seconds. You joke. I specifically joke around about Dave Meltzer's star system, but this had to be at least 20.
Yeah. Like this was everything. When you say Ace Austin and Chris Sabin and you think of how good this match could be, this match was a little bit better. And it's almost a shame that it ended with Fulton kind of yanking Sabin throat first into the ropes to kind of knock him off his equilibrium, and then Ace hits the fold and gets the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, these two really tore it up. And if you find yourself with an extra 20 minutes, give this match a view because it's absolutely worth it.
100%. You couldn't have put that at Bound for Glory. I understand that a lot of the matches take up a lot of time. So they want to give everyone the time to shine, but you couldn't put this. You couldn't find a way to put this. You couldn't make the gauntlet a 10-person gauntlet. Tell the Demon to take the night off, so fucking Chris Sabin and Ace Austin could tear it down for a 20-star match. Anyway, the new X Division champion, Trey Miguel, he defeated Rocky Romero to retain the X Division championship after a top buckle meaty aura, probably the meatiest of all auras. I do believe we actually have a match to pick here, boys. There was no matches on Raw or SmackDown to pick. I do believe we have a fatal four-way to determine the next number one contender for the X Division championship. So we actually have Rohit Raju, we have Macklin, we have Black Taurus, and the Laredo Kid, who's just continuing to stick around for whatever reason. I don't think he's an Impact guy. I guess Black Taurus really isn't either. But who do you got? Rohit, Macklin? Are we going back to Macklin here? We were all on Macklin. I know a couple people were on Trey. I think Travis had Trey Miguel. Travis did pretty good at Bound for Glory. Travis, I believe, had Trey. But we were all on the Macklin train, as far as I can remember, for Bound for Glory. So you're going to hop back on that bad boy, John DeConnie?
Yeah, Macklin came out after the Trey and Romero match and tied Trey up to the Tree of Woe and just, charged and sunk a shoulder into him while he was hanging upside down. So those two going at it for the X Division title seems like the likeliest of outcomes.
John Smith.
I'm going to go with Rohit on this one, actually.
Awesome.
Not because Macklin shouldn't win, but because I think they're not ready to hang another loss on him. And if he goes up against Trey Miguel one-on-one, he's going to have to actually get pinned. So, because I don't think they're going to take the belt off of Trey yet, is where I'm getting. Yeah. So I think Macklin should be the next one to win it, but I don't know if it's going to be like this right now. I don't know.
All right. Well, Steve Macklin is actually the boyfriend of the Queen here, so I'm not gonna ruin the theme of my show today. My personal and getting my Deonna Purrazzo autograph picture.
Yeah, there's no points on the line anyway.
There's no points on the line, but I'm not gonna bet against Macklin on the day I had my Deonna Purrazzo photo. Rachel Ellering defeated Tasha Steelz with a backslide for the win, and then we had only 4 matches on Impact. We had what sounds like a complete and utter brawl between Heath and Joe Doring, John Smith.
Yeah, this match barely got a chance to get off the ground, though, because, we get a few minutes in and Diener gets involved. He, trips Heath from the outside. Then Rhino starts fighting with Diener, and then they're all over the place. They end up in the ring. We get a no contest because of it. Then we get Violent by Design attacking 3-on-2 on Heath and Rhino, your first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Don't forget to point that out. He's got kids.
Yeah, the cheese was on like it's his whole team.
Yes, cheese. Yeah, that was their celebration, right? So then Heath takes a pile driver from Eric Young, and that's where we are. So it looks like we're gonna go for a while with this feud.
Yeah, well, I think I would hope it would have to because Eric Young looks like he's cleared. If he's throwing out pile drivers, he's ready to roll. So
him versus Rhino 1-on-1 would be unbelievable. Nice. Unbelievable.
Mickie James came to the ring. She thanked Deonna for a match of her life. She knows Deonna has a rematch, but no one has seen her since Bound for Glory. I decided to pop in today because I'm happy I got the autograph picture, and Noam Dar won the UK champion, the Heritage Cup. So I'll pop in. I'm smiling again. Yeah, I'll get it back. It's fine. We're good. 3-time. We got to change that to a 3-time though. So here comes Madison Rayne. And it looks like we're heading for Madison Rayne to challenge Mickie James for the Impact Knockouts Championship. I believe Caleb got involved. He had some words for Mickie. She slapped the taste out of his mouth. John Smith. Madison Rayne, she's former Knockouts champion, right? She's the former champ.
Yeah, no way. She's not winning this.
Yeah, I can't. You can't beat Deonna Purrazzo and then lose to Madison Rayne, and that's not a shot at Madison Rayne, but that's just
unless Deonna just gets involved out of spite and costs her the title, and then we get a feud between them two, but that's not for the title.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, I got Mickie holding on over Madison. Whether or not she does when Mercedes Martinez comes around, because she's got a title shot in her back pocket, that I'm not sure of.
Hard to Kill is in January. That's their next big show. So we have Turning Point Survivor Series weekend. That's a Saturday, the 20th.
Right.
Not sure when the December show is, but can we hold off? Can we go Mickie? Can we deal with Mickie James? I guess until Deonna gets up. Can we want to go January? You want to get it done right away here? I don't know. Where are we gonna go? Then we have our new World Impact Champion, who shocked the world, cashing in his Bound for Glory trophy. I guess right away. Yeah. Not wasting any time pulling a full Kane here. Right? That was Kane that did it. Kane and Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, yeah.
And Alexa Bliss too. She did it too. No patience. Moose is in the ring. Here comes Eddie Edwards. It just turned into a complete cluster bleep. And now we have Minoru Suzuki involved. And now it's just like, okay, so we actually have a 6-man tag team match. That team on the left should be unbeatable, in my opinion. That is a bad, bad team. And I know Josh Alexander has that super heel, super face in him now. Eddie Edwards is the heart and the soul and whatever. And then Cardona is Matt Cardona. He's different in Impact than he is in GCW. So we're not talking about the biggest, D-hole of all time in that Matt Cardona. But Minoru Suzuki, Moose, and W. Morrissey on the same team, John Nakani, I just cannot pick against that.
No, exactly. I assume it's going to be Cardona to take the pinfall. Eddie could as well. I don't see Josh taking it, but yeah, I definitely don't see the good guys winning.
John Smith.
Yeah, I got the heels winning this one too, and Moose and Morrissey look like they're straight out of Beavis and Butthead world in that graphic that you just showed us. It's fucking ridiculous.
So that will do it for Impact. They said they're on their way to Turning Point in 3 weeks. We will give you guys one last break before we bring you back into AEW.
Peace.
We're gonna bring in the guy that has been saving my ass the past 3 weeks. Will continue to save my ass the next 3 weeks. From minutestobelltime.com, Ryan Joy. Yeah, I'm talking about you, buddy. I appreciate your help as always. I tell you backstage, I'll tell you over the phone, I'll do it on air as well. Thank you for taking the time to take the wheel for me when I have a busy man getting together a new arena. It's not a simple process. So
you had work.
How are things with you? Everything going okay?
Yeah, things are really, really good. We're having really good episodes of the Daily Wrestling News Show all week, where people are talking about their hopes for wrestling and stuff. So things are very good. Now you just put that graphic up in the corner, though. That was way to take that.
This was what the Body Slam Brigade was about, I believe, last week, right? Plus, I know you did a huge show on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is you kind of sucked the air out of it. I was kind of upbeat and everything. You throw the little graphic up there in the corner.
Well,
you kind of just suck the air out of the room. Ring of Honor announced last week that they're basically letting everybody go, letting everybody out of their contracts. And after Final Battle, which is their December pay-per-view, they're putting the whole company on pause until April. And then when they come back on April, it does not appear that they'll have anybody under contract. It'll just be kind of like an indie show. Whoever's available, they'll bring in. And my assumption is they're going to be running a show WrestleMania weekend in Dallas area. They typically do Super Card of Honor. So, there's good and bad here. The good news is that if you're a fan of Ring of Honor and the talent that they have, well, that talent could show up anywhere now. They could be on. We already saw the Briscoes on GCW. We could see, any of them appearing. The Briscoes and FTR are having a Twitter exchange right now, so maybe you have a match there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good talent there that's going to be hitting the market, which is going to make it for the independent talent. It's hard for the independent talent that's already on the market, but so there's that. And those people could potentially build their names, and then when Ring of Honor starts running shows again, those shows might be higher profile because that talent's been out there and working. So, you can choose to take a look at it any way you like. There's definitely ups and downs to the situation. There's talk. Not talk coming from Ring of Honor, but there's, obviously when they made this announcement, everybody started talking like, well, are they going out of business for good? Are they going to sell off the tape library and stuff like that? Well, the reality is that, Sinclair, sounds like they really love Ring of Honor and they want to keep it. And this was how they were going to move forward with the strategy. But at the same time, they've made it really attractive to sell because they've gotten rid of all the liabilities. Mm-hmm. And, what is there to sell but the tape library now? If somebody comes in and offers them a bunch of money, maybe they just do it. They don't have people to worry about anymore because they've sold it off. Or they've released everybody. So
yeah, I know a lot of big names coming. a couple that come to mind. Jersey Jay Lethal, always the first person on my mind when you say Ring of Honor. You say Ring of Honor, I say Jay Lethal. I know EC3 is down there. I know Gresham is down there, and he's got connections to Impact with his. I don't know if they're married. They're married, right? Him and Jordan, right?
Yes, they are.
So he's got connections there. And then the Briscoes, like I said, they've been lifers in Ring of Honor. I don't know where I would want. I know Vince already said he's got no interest in this. I would say you got to put him in AEW. That's just where they would shine. Like the Briscoes would shine.
I would love to see the Briscoes versus FTR. The Briscoes versus we've seen the Briscoes versus the Bucks 1,000 times, but FTR is a team. Also, everybody kind of always looks past the New Day and the Usos. Like those are teams I'd love to see them go up against too. But like you mentioned, I think Vince would take a pass on them.
Not with his new philosophy. If he sticks by his new philosophy with amateur athletes and former football players and bodybuilding, nobody from Ring of Honor is doing it.
Yeah, no chicken farmers from Delaware that are above 40.
Yeah. And then the one person, if anybody, like I said, just like Braun Strowman he's going to fit in perfect at Impact. I believe the inspiration is going to fit in perfect for Impact. Dalton Castle is made for Impact Wrestling.
He is.
He needs to get there.
Yep. He's on the kind of the backswing, the foreswing. I probably shouldn't use a golf analogy. He's on the back half of his career for sure. Yeah.
The back nine of his career.
Yeah, the back nine. That'll work.
There you go.
I was trying to talk about the swing, but the backswing is kind of the beginning of the whatever.
Yeah, and then he drive the force. Yeah, it would be the follow.
So he's kind of at the tail end of his career. So he would be great at Impact, though. I mean, gosh, can you imagine him in Swingers Palace and stuff?
Yes,
like that?
Oh my God, yes, exactly.
Right
like his character would fit perfectly there. Anything would. I thought Dalton Castle was great.
I mean, we mentioned the big names so far, but you also got Roosh and Dragon Lee and Bandito. Yeah. All those like really top-notch luchadors, Flamita and Ray Horace. Flip Gordon, super, super well respected athletes in Ring of Honor. And then they have the people that they have sort of on their undercard, on their come up, though some of them are really, really good, talented. When you got Josh Woods and Brian Johnson and then Dak Draper. And then on the women's division, they just started with that. Building that up. And they kind of gave a place for those people to come and work. And then the place disappeared, but they started to build their names. So hopefully they can kind of take that and go forward. We didn't mention Shane Taylor. There's lots and lots of potential coming from Ring of Honor. And like I mentioned before, if they do go under this model where they can just put together a show with who's available, that means they can start pulling in all the free agents. Mm-hmm. They could pull in a Braun Strowman because they don't have these huge contracts that they're paying. They can afford some of the big names for single night appearances type of thing. So
James Wheeler's reported that Braun Strowman's off the market. So I don't know if this is.
Yeah. I don't. I think there was an if there, but
I think James Wheeler just outscooped you.
Yeah, he might have. I want to also mention New Japan, Al, before we close out the my segment here. They are running a pretty big show this Saturday. And look, what you can actually do is you can watch your SmackDown, then you can watch Rampage, then take yourself a little break from 11 p.m. You got a 2-hour break. And then at 1 a.m., you can turn on Power Struggle from New Japan. And they have a 9-match card. The main event is going to be for the IWGP World Championship, Shingo Takagi defending against Zack Sabre Jr. But on the undercard, you've got Okada versus Tama Tonga. You've got Tanahashi versus Kenta. Robbie Eagles versus El Desperado. Toru Yano versus the Great Khan in what I believe is going to be a amateur wrestling rules match. And the list goes on. You got your multi-person matches as you go down the card. So
you're going to have the headgear on.
Yeah.
Toru Yano is going to have the headgear on.
Yeah. And that's for the KOPW championship. So
I'm sure it is, exactly. And when you said there's a stipulation, like that's what that cup that he has that he's walking around.
Yes. So that's going to be a fun show. And the thing that's nice about this is up until about right now, New Japan has been running 5-match shows. They had announced that the pandemic, the progress had improved to a point where now they're going to start putting together their more typical shows, which are usually 9 or 10 matches. And this one we're seeing is got 5 big singles matches on it, plus 4 multi-person tag matches. So they've got a full roster at this show. So that is fun.
It is fun. And in New Japan, again, it never disappoints. It's just 1 a.m.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 a.m. to start.
Yeah.
It's like
9 matches. Yeah.
4:30 when it's over. So, yeah, it's tough.
So, well, that's why you're here, Rye. You're the one that keeps us updated with everything. You do the work for us. So.
Sort through all the bullshit, man.
That's it.
James Wheeler. I'm sorting through all the bullshit.
Okay. I'm going to get in trouble for that, but okay.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
He's probably not watching.
do what you want on their morning show. He's in class right now. He watches replays, though. Yeah, Commissioner, I got to get him on. He'll be on in December to talk a little pigskin eventually. He's still got class, though. So, Ryan Joy, thank you for the report. We're going to keep you on, though, because we're going to just go right back into your wheelhouse with AEW. We will, let's see, yeah, up there. Bring back in John Smith. We're going to bring back in John DeConnie. We're going to go 4 strong. We're going to start with Ron Page, late night Friday night. Ryan, the good doctor was in a trick-or-treat match. I do believe this was non-title because I do believe she has a title match coming up at Full Gear. So.
Yeah, this was a trick-or-treat, no DQ championship opportunity match. If Abaddon won, she would have gotten a world championship match. She did not win, but Britt Baker only got through by the very, very skin of her teeth. This match had thumbtacks. It had a lot of crazy stuff. I think it was a really good showing for Abaddon because the match held up. The match was very, very good. And I don't think people really were expecting much out of it. So when they brought out the tacks and the character spots, right? When Britt Baker did really, really good character work alongside Abaddon, where she's in a spot, she's just getting ready to put in the lockjaw, and she looks at Abaddon and she's like, maybe I won't do that. So it ultimately ends up with a roll up in the thumbtacks for the 1, 2, 3. But man, Britt Baker's not scared of those tacks at all.
No, I think when you give me that pairing, I do them. I mean, this is because Britt's a blood. That's who she is now. She's just a blood mess, and Abaddon's gonna be her. So I'm glad that they shined with it. And Ryan, it's not by the skin of her teeth; it's by the skin of her bright white, smiling, beautiful, pearly white.
Yeah. Okay.
Teeth.
Fair. She is a dentist.
She is a dentist. She knows how to cage hair. Oh, there you go. Dante Martin defeated Matt Seidel after a double springboard moonsault. Dante celebrated with his win over his new mentor, Leo Rush. Did Leo Rush ever go back over his business plan on how he got his money? Because it sounded very complicated. He loaned money for hotels or something, if I remember correctly. I don't know. But then we have the World Title Eliminator Tournament. So I'm going to put up the graphic here on 5minutes.com and Ryan Joy. Last Friday on Rampage, Bryan Danielson, he defeated Eddie Kingston to advance to the final. He will be at Full Gear in the tournament final. He got the Kingston, the head and arm triangle. Kingston passed out, but he never tapped out, so he's a little upset by that. We'll get into that in a little bit. But then last Wednesday on Dynamite, in the semifinals, there were, Fridays, Wednesdays before Friday, so we're still in the semifinals there. Jon Moxley defeated Preston Vance in 2 minutes. So, John DeConnie had that here. Mox was clearly late for another meeting. So he made short work of Preston Vance. And what we have coming up this Wednesday on Dynamite is the other half of the semifinals, where Orange Cassidy will take on Jon Moxley. The winner will advance to Full Gear and go one-on-one with Bryan Danielson. And the winner gets an opportunity at the AEW Championship. So Ryan Joy is our senior AEW correspondent. You got Moxley, you got Cassidy.
It's really hard not to pick Moxley here. He's wrestled a total of 3 minutes over 2 matches and absolutely destroyed both opponents. So I don't think he'll roll over Orange Cassidy too quick, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. So Jon Moxley.
John Smith, the over-under. How about that then? We'll play that because I don't think anyone's betting against Moxley. I think the minute these brackets came out, everyone was like, awesome, we're getting Moxley and Danielson at Full Gear. This is going to be great. We do have to go back and see if there was any Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose matches. I think that'd be fun to watch. Hindsight's 2020, all those years ago. I'm not trying to compare the two. They're two different characters, and Moxley's definitely a different character than he was back then. But would we have an over/under John Smith of the time of Moxley and Orange Cassidy?
I'm picking Orange Cassidy.
Okay, Okay, John Smith, what do you got?
I think they're just gonna throw us a curveball. I don't think maybe there's gonna be some interference or maybe it's the Raw roll up, but I think they're gonna give us something different. I don't think they want to give us two WWE guys in going for their title, even though at this point Moxley isn't considered a WWE guy. But it's still hey, we've seen this before.
Yeah. John DeConnie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Mox in this situation because I think that's just too tantalizing for the pay-per-view to put those two against each other. But I guess I wouldn't be completely shocked if they went with Cassidy because he is certainly a guy that they love, to build. He's obviously the future. I don't know how old he is, but, he seems like one of those guys that's going to be an AEW lifer.
Was he the pillar? Was he one of MJF's 4 pillars? Was it himself, right? I did see that. He had himself. He got Sammy.
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy and
John Smith, if this wasn't for points, would you change your pick?
I don't know. Maybe I might go the safe route if it was for points. I don't know. I didn't really think. I didn't even think of it like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm going Mox just because that was my initial thought, and the last time I changed my bet, it cost me $33,000.
33 grand.
As Jets. I don't think people would be upset if Full Gear was Orange Cassidy versus Bryan Danielson. I think that's a great match. It's a pay-per-view quality match. I just think people might get upset because they got robbed of Moxley and Danielson, especially if it's this new Moxley. It's not, exactly. Dean Ambrose is officially dead. John Smith is right. He's not a WWE anymore. So now you have, set Bryan Danielson straight, I guess, type deal. And I said, I wouldn't be. You can go two ways. We're going to talk about it. You guys will talk about it next week. I'll throw the question out there now. You're going to have Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson for the title, or you're going to have Adam Page versus Jon Moxley. Those I think, are the two options when you're picking those two matches. I don't think they'll be intertwined. I don't think we're getting Omega and Moxley again, and I don't think they're going to give us face versus face with Danielson and Page. So that's where my head's at. There was a 8-man tag team. That sounds like more like AEW. 8-man tag team match between the Dark Order and the Elite last Wednesday on Dynamite. It was Halloween night. John DeConnie, I believe when I restarted my computer, we didn't discuss who was going to do this match. I do believe that the conversation before my computer went dead that it was going to be you. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked myself because I got really excited watching Dynamite with John Smith when I saw the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm like, oh my God, Nevaeh is debuting on AEW. Because Nevaeh was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man last year. You're telling me that wasn't Nevaeh?
I think you are correct.
There goes Adam Page ripping off Nevaeh. How about that one for you, John DeConnie?
That is something you probably are never going to be able to say again in the history of this show.
Anything off Nevaeh.
Yeah. So we had the Dark Order facing the Super Elite. Super Elite came out dressed as the Ghostbusters, and they brought baby Nakazawa. My bad. Almost said Nakamura. Nakazawa and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man along with them. And like every Elite match, especially any Bucks match, it broke down into utter madness. There was craziness going on all over the place. At one point, we got some extra members of the Dark Order coming down, including someone dressed with a large horse head on. And as the other two members of the other two extra members of the Dark Order got knocked off, they dragged the horse-headed man into the ring for a 4-way BTE trigger on his big dumb horse head, and they assumed they were going to unveil a member of the Dark Order, but instead, it was Brandon Cutler. He was taped up around his mouth. He had no way to communicate. But wait a minute. If Cutler's under the horse's head, who's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Well, he unveiled himself to be Hangman Adam Page, hanging out right behind Matt Jackson, who was the only one left in the ring at that moment. He took out Jackson. Omega came in. He grabbed Omega, dropped him with the Deadeye pile, that backpack pile driver that looks absolutely insane every time he does it. And then John Silver, who was actually in the match and could hit a move and go for a pin, he hits the Spin Doctor on Matt Jackson, gets the 1, 2, 3, and it is a banner night for the Dark Order.
It is, and it's gonna leak into this Friday's Rampage, where John Silver, talk about a dream match I didn't know I want until I saw this graphic. Yes, give me John Silver. Yes, give me Adam Cole, baby. Ryan Joy is our senior AW correspondent. How hungry does Johnny have to be to get the win here?
Very. I think that there's almost no chance he does. I think it's going to be a very good match, but I think Adam Cole is going to win this. I don't think they're beating Adam Cole or Daniel Bryan anytime soon. I think they're gonna be in that position, especially if Adam Page beats Kenny Omega. Then I think Adam Cole is probably getting a title shot down the line. So I think he's going to keep winning.
Yeah, then Adam Cole wins it, and now Kenny gets jealous, and then the Elite starts breaking up. There's a lot you can do with that storyline, John Smith.
Yeah, give me Adam Cole. He's going to tower over somebody for once. I love it.
I'm not sure. I've seen them, stand back to back to determine who's taller. We'll see.
I really hope Cole breaks out a height joke. He has to, John. The guy be finding excuse me. He must be this tall to talk to Adam Cole. Just let him be the bully for once with height.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And like you said, as soon as I saw this match put together, my first thought was, well, goddamn, I'm really going to enjoy that match. Yeah. I never would have thought of it, never would have thought to book it myself, but yeah, I'm really going to enjoy it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we know the ending to it. It's going to end with a Panama Sunrise and a boom knee, whatever you want to call that, and Adam Cole, baby, going over.
And another match I didn't know I wanted to see until I heard about it and I watched it and I loved it. CM Punk and Bobby Fish. Absolutely thought that was a great match. CM Punk got the win eventually with the go to sleep. But that's not really the story that came out of AEW this week with CM Punk. Now we'll get back to this, Ryan. Punk, Eddie Kingston pretty much snapped after losing his Eliminator match to Bryan Danielson because he didn't tap. He passed out. That's probably the 5th time that's happened to him in AEW. He really needs to stay conscious. He should know that by now. But I guess Punk had some choice words with him too. So,
yeah, I don't know what the deal there was because Punk was trying to do his interview, and Eddie Kingston assumed Punk was laughing at him, and boy, that didn't sit well with Eddie Kingston. I can't tell who the bad guy is, and I think it's bleeding for me. It's bleeding over into the Moxley Cassidy thing a bit because I think if Kingston's going to be sort of the heel in this Punk story, and if Moxley were to lose, as John Smith has predicted, I don't think Orange Cassidy is going to walk out. I think Moxley will kill him afterwards. So yeah, we're not picking this match, right? Because they haven't announced it or anything, right?
No, they haven't. I'm assuming it'll be a full gear. To tell you the truth, this is a full gear quality match, in my opinion.
Sure.
Imagine that though. Cassidy wins, he gets taken out, and then a full gear. It's just Daniel Bryan walking out, wins by forfeit, ref raises his hand, and that's it. And that's how disappointing would that be? That would
something like that, yeah.
John Smith, Ethan Page. Ethan Page had Rock Boys in the building tonight as he challenged for the.
Hey, all we could notice was that he happened to powder his nose pretty poorly before he came out because there was a big chunk sticking right out the tip of his nose. And then all the sniffles were confirmation of what we were
Rock,
thinking. And
Rock
yeah,
boys in the building tonight. Ethan Page, go get him, Tiger.
yeah, I don't even remember the match at this point.
No.
All I can think about is the fact that
We got two
Ethan Page was fucking yacked out of his mind.
We rewound it twice. Like, are we sure before we report on this? Yep, that's it. I know a Rock when I say it. Sabre Guevara got the win. Got the double leg and flips into a jackknife cover for the win. 10 minutes, 58 seconds. I guess it was after the match, though. What that match is leading into at Full Gear is going to be a 5-on-5 where the Inner Circle is now going to fight the Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, as well as 3 members of American Top Team that I guess Jericho gets to choose, that the Inner Circle gets to choose. So that should be interesting to see where they go with that. And, like I said, at Full Gear, if these guys can, kind of wrestle safely. So see where it goes from there. We had the TBS Championship Tournament. Here are the brackets supplied by MinutesToBellTime.com. Going forward, we have 2 matches coming up this week. Last week, Karl she finally got win number 50, and she used the trophy she was supposed to get the week prior to win it. So good for her. That was a fun, nice little what goes around comes around situation, and her win over Serena Deeb. So we're gonna go backtracking back in time because we're gonna book Shida and Nyla Rose. The one thing I love about AEW is they don't get the same matches over and over again. We're gonna have Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose in the next round of the tournament, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This Wednesday on Dynamite, we have Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter. On Friday night on Rampage, we have the Bunny versus Red Velvet. I will leave this up so you can remember the participants, but John DeConnie, who do you got?
Okay, in the first one, as much as I want to see Anna Jay move on in this tournament, it just looks too perfect to have Hayter face Thunder Rosa in that second round. So I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter. And in the Bunny and Red Velvet, oh Jesus, are they really going to feed Red Velvet to Jade Cargill again? Yeah, I guess so.
No, you don't get a lot of repeat matches in AEW, John.
Apparently in the women's division you do.
When there's only 15 of them and not 125, I guess. John Smith, who do you got?
I'm gonna say, give me Jamie Hayter also, and give me the Bunny.
All right, Brian Joy.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter, and I think, by the way, Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa is going to be a great match. And then Red Velvet on the bottom. Yes, they're feeding Red Velvet back to Jade Cargill again.
Okay.
That's
I know we're not supposed to talk religion on this show, but I'm going to go contrarian on this one to you, Ryan. Is Anna Jay done already, or is it Jamie Hayter's time? Because I just figured that huge. I want to say it was a huge feud. But it was a big enough feud where it went weeks on end between the Bunny and Penelope Ford against Anna Jay and Ty Conti. Ty Conti's getting a championship match out of this.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Anna Jay still have the momentum and the Bunny still had the momentum to go forward against 2 women who, Red Velvet you see every once in a while, but Jamie Hayter's, I don't want to say his sidekick. I don't want to compare her to Kimberly because she's not. She's better. But she's Kimberly.
Let me, if you don't mind, I'll respond to this. But could you put the graphic back up?
Yeah, sure thing.
What's weird about this?
Put your middle finger away, Ryan. Come on, grow up.
What is interesting to me about this whole tournament is the opening round contests. Your Anna Jay, Jamie Hayter, Bunny, Red Velvet, Ruby Soho, Penelope Ford, Shida, and Deeb. I don't think they matter. I think it was just we're going to put them in the tournament as a consolation. It's going to come down to, I think, Nyla Rose, Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, and Jade Cargill, the people who got buys in the first round. So rather than just make it a 4-person tournament, they added all these other people in.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great television. And Ryan, we did a whole daily wrestling news show about brackets and how much we love them. So, this is great. Now we got buys, and then we got this, that, and the other. It's phenomenal. I absolutely love it.
I don't think that like Anna Jay is like pushes over or anything like that. It's just I think it's Ty Conti's time to get a shot at the pay-per-view, which I don't think she's winning that either. But Anna Jay, I just don't see her getting through. I think Jamie Hayter is going to get, I know none of us picked her. Maybe you were going to, Al, but she could win that match. She could get past Jamie Hayter, but she's not getting past Thunder Rosa.
I did pick Anna Jay. No, I'm taking Anna Jay and the Bunny just based off their prior. They had the star power. So now you have Anna Jay, people who we know and we're rooting for, and it's
So get going back to this. Then I want to ask: are you saying that Anna Jay and the Bunny are going to be there in the semis?
No.
Okay. You're just going to tease that could happen.
No, I'm just saying that I think they're going to win their first. No, you're exactly right. The 4 women they get the buys. That should be the final four. I would actually throw a wrench in that. Who's Ruby fighting? I would throw Ruby the wrench here. Chris Statler. I think Ruby would beat Chris Statler. That'll be the one person who's getting a bye that wouldn't advance to the semifinals. But I think Thunder Rose and Nyla Rose, maybe even Nyla's questionable. It all depends if kendo sticks are involved.
I think she'd have got the chair shots from Deeb after the match, which I think are gonna get her out.
Yeah. So, I agree with the Ruby thing. I just I had Statlander pegged to win this title, and now I'm second guessing it because she's matched up against Ruby.
Yep. Well, at least your pick made the bracket. Keep on going, Layla Hirsch. Rocks, go strong. Then we have this whole thing. I guess Cody's trying to win the fans back. He threw his shoes into the crowd. I'm shocked they didn't get thrown back at him. Andrade interrupted. Malachi Black appeared out of nowhere. Pac, who's been having issues with Andrade over the past couple months, he came out to help Cody. I'm not really sure if he cares about Cody more than he wants to try to get back at Andrade. They're going to have that tag team match at Full Gear. It's going to be Cody Rhodes and Pac going against Andrade and Malachi Black, the Selena Vega Dream Team. But we have a singles match coming up this Wednesday on Dynamite with Andrade and Cody Rhodes. John Smith. He's got his sign up. Yay.
Cody's booking it, right?
Yep.
Cody wins.
Yeah, he's got to get the momentum going into the pay-per-view. So Pac can get pinned and then they lose. Brian Joy.
I think Cody probably wins. Cody gave Malachi Black two wins recently, so I think he's probably going to win here. Although, man, Andrade probably needs some wins. So, but
hopefully they'll win at the pay-per-view. That's the where we want to go. I would love. Yeah, I love the Zelina Vega Dream Team here between Andrade and Malachi Black here. John DeConnie.
It's tough. Yeah, Cody's probably going to win, but I'm gonna go with Andrade just because.
Cody, let me just correct James Wheeler. Cody is going to be teaming with Pac going against. Like I said,
they haven't announced the match.
What's that?
They haven't announced the match.
I looked on Wikipedia. It was announced, so Wikipedia doesn't lie. So. So that's the match they had booked for Full Gear. And then MJF defeated In Action in about 2 minutes. They got into a squirrel with Darby Allin. They yelled, they shouted at each other. And I should have downloaded. My buddy Brian Everly that I went to high school with, he's the head baseball coach, at Drew University. He looks exactly like Darby Allin, and he actually dressed up like him for Halloween. I should have downloaded it to give him props. But yeah, it was pretty cool. We're going to get MJF and Darby at Full Gear. So that will do it for our show. I forgot to, as much as like I said, I got some ring rust here. Forgot to print out my opening segment. I forgot to print out the closing too. So let's see if we can fly through this real quick. Prime Time Rundown, powered by StreamYard. Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, Rob DeLuca. Friday nights at 7 p.m. on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. What is it? Go to the easternobserver.com for more information. As you guys all know, we've been talking football quite a bit during this show just because we all took an L with the exception of John DeConnie. in our Survivor pool standings. Here's our list of guys: myself, John Smith, Ryan Joy, Tyler. All got nailed by the Jets. That had trap game written all over it. And I trusted the Bengals to not have that happen more than I trusted Geno Smith. So that's why I chose the Bengals. John DeConnie and Travis both had the Rams still in their back pocket. They made short work of whoever they were playing. I remember they steamrolled somebody. Might have been Houston. They played the Texans, right? So here are our standings. As bad as we did is the same as the Primetime Rundown did. A couple of those guys put the Bengals. I believe Larry Park, if I'm saying his last name correctly, Park. He actually bet the Chargers over the Patriots. I'm happy he got that loss. So John DeConnie, we'll just get to this. We are still winning by 8 games over the Primetime Rundown. But John DeConnie, 8-0. You, my friend, you won. You're the last man standing. So congratulations. We are going to continue with our picks the rest of the week, rest of the season, just because we want to see what our records are. Plus, Tyler's on the line here. The losing program has to keep Tyler. So there's a lot of stakes on the line here. So we're going to keep going with that. We have the Daily Wrestling News Show every Monday through Thursday. Anyway, you're watching this show, you can watch the Daily Wrestling News Show and get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band of merry co-hosts as they sort through all the, I guess I'll just say it since he said it twice already, bullshit. Yeah, there you go.
3 strike rule, though, Adam. Al.
Yeah, 3 strike rule. Yeah, well, I think I dropped an F-bomb earlier, so I'll just leave it at that. By accident. Sorry,
you
Joe.
did, not me, right?
Yeah, no, it was me. No, I know exactly where I said it too. So if they bring up the tape, I'll just point it out. Monday through Thursdays, 10 a.m. I believe John Smith will be on tomorrow morning. I will be on Thursday, and we look forward to talking some wrestling with you. Also with MrBelltime.com, we have the Body Slam Brigade by Ryan for you for free. Comes out at noon on Fridays. So make sure we're at 4,600 yet, Ryan. Close to 5,000 yet.
Oh yeah, we're about 5. We're less than
5,000 subscribers. Get this weekly newsletter, so make sure you don't leak out. Don't miss out. Then we got the Primetime, the Black Cats NYC. Excuse me. I never have anything written down for these guys, so I'm pretty comfortable talking about how their new album, Free Cake, coming up on their year anniversary. The official band of the Eastern Observer. You can get them on Deezer, YouTube, Pandora, wherever you get your music. You can get the Black Cats NYC and their new album, latest album, Free Cake. This episode is brought to you by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. You see what happens when I don't have my notes in front of me and I take 3 weeks off. Completely forgot to put myself over the beginning of the show, so we'll have to do it. Pro Wrestling, as I said, all the picks for this show and every show and the pool that we are in is from ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. Make sure you join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. So however you're watching the show now, you can check us next week. 6 p.m., the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Ryan Joy will be taking over the show again for the rest of the month. I got some stuff to do. I got some things to do. So, Ryan, thank you again so much for filling in and then taking over. And I think the views are good. You said you lead off with Gary. Everything's good.
There you go. You're welcome.
So, anything, Ryan, from your end before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to mention back May 5th of 2021, so many months ago, I wrote an article on MrBelltime.com. It was I named the 5 dream opponents for Daniel Bryan outside of WWE. One of those guys was Adam Page. He was number 2 on my list. So if Adam Page wins at Full Gear and Bryan Danielson wins at Full Gear, one of my dreams will have come true. Number 5 on the list was Jonathan Gresham, and he was recently released from Ring of Honor. So we're one step closer. Just give us TJP, Zack Sabre, and Nick Aldis, and we'll have the full suite.
There you go. There you go. John Smith, anything to run before we get out of here?
No, nothing today.
John DeConnie, today was your show. You unofficially won the Survivor Pool, the last man standing without a loss. Best birthday present I could possibly ever get. A personalized autograph from Deanna Perrazzo, hashtag Jersey Strong. Thank you, Deanna, for taking the time to do that for me. John Smith DeConnie, excuse me, this was your episode. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Not really, sir. Just a belated happy birthday to you. I'm glad it finally got to you. It was supposed to get there in time for your birthday. Little issue with the mail here in Hillside, but
it's not just John. It's not even just you. It's everywhere.
That's true.
There are people who still haven't got my wedding invitation yet. No, like it's ridiculous.
For 2020, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for the 2020. All right. Thank you so much from at home for watching. That was a lot of fun to be back. I'm sorry I can't be here. I can't wait to be back in December. Like I said, I'll get the Christmas lights up. We'll have a good time. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever on our hearts. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Now, did you get her phone number too for me, or?